more on this, we're joined by Maurizio Zanardi, who's a professor of economics at the University of Sussex Business School. Welcome to the programme, Professor. Now, Prime Minister Mark Carney is a former central banker, so he knows the numbers. Is walking away from the table a calculated gamble, or did Canada just corner itself into an economic standoff that it can't win?
Well, there are numbers, but not only numbers, in the sense that it seems that what the United States was trying to extract from Canada was too much. So is it a gamble? Possibly. Is it the start of a trade war? Most likely, considering also the declaration that Mark Carney made. How it ends, we do not know, but clearly there is only so much that one country like the United States can ask of trade partners. And at some point, when the ask is too much, someone will say no, partly calculating what may happen next. At the moment, it seems that there are no other negotiations taking place, but the two sides may come back to a table. Finally, one thing to remember, we are only talking of 50% of tariffs from the US side on 5% of the total exports of Canada to the United States. So there is still quite a lot of space for moving, however, in whichever direction, depending on how tough each player wants to be on its side.
Now, Ottawa has vowed to match these tariffs dollar for dollar. So who actually breaks first here? Canadian exporters who rely heavily on the US market, or American consumers who will eventually feel the hit of inflation?
Well, we don't know the answer, in the sense that consumers in the United States are feeling the effect of inflation, and my guess is that one way in which they can fully demonstrate their disappointment may be in November at the elections, although we hope that a solution to this trade quarrel, let's try to be optimistic and not call it a war, will be found before September. On the exporting side, I'm sure that various lobbies are pressing Carney and the Canadian government to try to find a deal, but it takes two to tango, and it's right for every country not to give in to any possible request. Otherwise, there will be a free-for-all, really bad situation.
And as Canada actively builds deeper economic ties with the likes of China and European partners to reduce its dependency on Washington, is America First pushing its closest neighbour right into the arms of rival economic blocs?
Well, that's, I guess, definitely the case. And it's not only pushing Canada, it's also pushing Mexico, it's pushing everyone else in the world to look at diversify their export markets because of the unreliability, to use Mark Carney's word, of the United States as a trade partner. At the same time, gravity always matters, and gravity mostly wins. Clearly, the United States is the most important single trade partner for Canada, in the same way that Canada is a very important trade partner for the United States, and it's not by chance that together with Mexico, they are in a big trade agreement. So for sure, these policies from the Trump administration are pushing Canada and everyone else to look for alternatives. But there is only so much that can be accomplished, especially in the short term.
Right, and with critical supply chains like steel, automotive and agriculture caught in this crossfire, which global markets outside of North America will stand to be affected by this breakup?
In a way, everyone. I mean, it's interesting in your question you ask outside of North America, because clearly Mexico will be the very first country to feel very large ripple effect of what's going on between Ottawa and Washington, D.C. But it's not only Mexico, it's everyone, because in the age of so much trade integration and global value chains, the butterfly effect comes to mind. A butterfly chain moving its wings in the United States and Canada will have repercussions all over the world and all over different sectors. Again, keeping in mind that this is affecting only 5% of Canadian export to the US, but again, the ripple effect also from that 5% will reverberate across many, many sectors and countries.
Professor Maurizio Zanardi, thank you very much for speaking to us here on TRT World.